broadcasts the data or its recording, so its neighbors will receive that, and the neighbors will in turn broadcast the data to its or to their neighbors. So in this case, A broadcast to B and C, and B and C in turn broadcast the same data to D. What we see is that D receives two copies of the same data. Two copies of the same data. Okay, so D receives two copies of the same data. So when we see this situation, we can find out that there are unnecessary transmission and reception activities. Right, students? There are unnecessary transmission and reception. Why do we say unnecessary? What we mean by meaning that B and C are transmitting redundant the same data, and D is receiving two copies, duplicate copies, which means D is getting tuned to the channel twice and its radio is active for a longer duration. Similarly, B and C are transmitting, means their radio is in active state and they are in transmission mode for longer durations, right, which is unnecessary, which can be avoided. So this leads to energy consumption or energy wastage. So conclusion is that the implosion problem leads to unnecessary energy expenditure. Clear? Clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then another problem is overlap problem. Okay. Now consider another scenario. So we have three nodes A, B, C. Okay. And A has a sensing range. Node A has some sensing range, and node B has some sensing range, which are overlapping. So A sensing range, let me say it's a Q, and B sensing range S, and yes, sir, I'm in a class, sir. We'll talk later. Yeah. So we have earmarked the respective sensing ranges, and let us denote the overlapping sensing range as R. Let's suppose R. Okay. And A and B supposed to communicate with C. Okay. So when A transmits its data recordings from its regions, okay. So what are the regions it covers? Q and R. So it will send the data pertaining to Q and R. Similarly, B will send its data pertaining to R and S, okay, to C. So what you see again, C receives two copies of metadata R, right? Two copies of metadata R, right? So this is known as overlap problem. So this two copy is due to the overlapping region, correct? Again, there is a redundancy in the data that C has received. and obviously it implies wastage of energy, right? So conclusion so far is that both implosion problem and overlap problem leads to multiple copies of the same data, which is a wastage of energy from the context of sensor network or resource constrained sensor nodes. Right, students?
Yes, sir.
Since we used terminology here, metadata, can anybody say what is your understanding about metadata? How you visualize metadata as?
Metadata is data about the data.
Fine. Any example?
So if we have a table and we have multiple rows and columns filled with data. So how many rows and the pointer to the
Can you
specific row.
give me an, yes, fine. Your example may be correct, but I am expecting an example which will be easy for any common person to understand. I mean, when you take very simple examples and you are able to convince a person who doesn't know the subject you are talking about, that means you have understood the subject. I am expecting an example, a very naive example, which anybody. Okay, so size of the folder can be an attribute. Okay, attribute. I'll give you a very simple example which doesn't require any technical knowledge. I'll say that first time I say that I have a watch. So the thrust is on watch. Okay, so watch is data for you. That's an information for you. I have a beautiful watch, or I have a watch that is beautiful. So beautiful characterizes the watch. I have an expensive watch, which means expensive. The price characterizes the watch. I have a very sturdy watch, which means it is the strength of the watch that characterizes. So watch is the common item here in all the three instance examples I have taken. Okay, watch is the common item, and price, look, and the robustness, they are characterizing the watch further. Is that okay? And another example can be, now moving on to technical aspect, that if I take a data, if I take a measurement at 10 o'clock, and everyone in our group knows that the data pertaining to time 10 o'clock. Now if I have another data that is recorded at, let's say, 10:15 a.m., then here the timestamp serves as the metadata. So all the group members will look at the timestamp of the data, and whenever they see that a new data item, I mean a data item is available, but it has a different timestamp than the previous data, right? So that timestamp will serve as the metadata. तो इसमें क्या होगा कि मैं डेटा को ट्रांसमिट नहीं करूंगा, मैं केवल टाइम स्टैम्प को ट्रांसमिट करूंगा. तो जैसे ही टाइम स्टैम्प आया तो मैं देखूंगा अरे एक नया टाइम स्टैम्प आया है जो कि 10:15 रिकॉर्डिंग है, विच मीन्स मैं ये सोचूंगा कि दिस इज अ न्यू डेटा, और ये जो मेटा डेटा है ये एक न्यू डेटा पॉइंट को रेफर कर रहा है. Is it clear? So as somebody said that the file size can be a metadata, time and date of creation of the data can be a metadata, the location from where it is generated can be metadata, data quality can be metadata, and there can be n number of such examples that can continue. Any questions so far?
Sir, please explain this problem once more.
Which aspect of metadata you are looking at? The entire metadata
Sir, this
Yes, please.
no, sir, the problem.
Which problem? I didn't.
The problem of overlapping of
Okay,
R.
okay. See, node A and node S have their respective transmission ranges or sensing range, whatever it is. Sensing range. Let me say Q is a sensing range of A and S is a sensing range of B, right? And the sensing ranges are overlapping, and that overlapped region is termed as R in this example, right? So when A records any data within its sensing range, it will record Q. That record will contain Q as it's in its range, the data item, and R is the metadata. Q is the data and R, or this is the region and this can be the metadata. Specifically, this is the region and this is the metadata about it. So A sends this information and B sends this information to C. So C receives Q and R. C receives Q and R. Q and S, and two copies of information from the overlapping area. So these two copies can be avoided, and one is enough. So, right? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Then another terminology we are going to use in SPIN protocol is the application level framing. Application level framing. What is this framing, students? Where have you come across this terminology in your graduation course?
Sir, the data link layer puts the packet into a frame and then sends it over the link.
Okay.
So it does the work of framing.
So we can say that framing means it is a kind of data segment. It's a kind of data segment which is in its standard form, right? No matter whatever may be the application frames or application data, that will be broken into specific size frames, and this size of frame depends on the protocol that it uses, which is standard across, which is consistent across. Is that your understanding is? Is that your understanding is? Not clear? Can the frame size vary?
No, sir.
No, which means it's standard across. Frame size does not vary. Correct? Frame
Yes, sir.
does not vary. It is constant throughout. But if it is so, then why do we say here application level framing? Why do we say? I mean, how this helps? How framing, simple framing will not help, and how application level framing will help? The answer to my question is quite straightforward and simple. That is, framing basically, if you go for a standard framing, then when the resource constrained sensor nodes access the constrained channels, okay, and if this frame size is supposed to be a standard frame size, and let's suppose it's large, then these frames will consume lot of channel resources. Correct? Lot of channel resources. So what is done here is that depending on the application, frames are structured, which means the frame can be small, and it can be large. it can be large, right? Or large means it can be up to the standard size. So the benefit of keeping the frame sizes customized to the application needs, that one application's frame size not necessarily be the best for another application, correct? For that reason, application level framing is prescribed to judiciously use the constrained channel resources. Fine? Are you able to understand? It is basically, we are talking about referring to customization. Instead of following a standard framing process, we allow customization as per the requirement of the application. And the objective is to make judicious use of the constrained channel resources. That's it. Right? I think this doesn't require much of explanation. Still, if you have any question, please ask. How it is? See, your protocol, let's suppose you have a data to send, right? A data to send. Okay. So you have options of sending the entire data, right, in multiple frames, or you can just send the metadata in first go. I'm saying, okay, in the first go, either you can choose to send the entire data in multiple frames, or in the first go you can choose to send only the metadata in just single frame, right? And depending on what your metadata consists of, in one application the metadata can consist of file size, time, date, creation, location, data quality, all these in metadata information. And in some other application it can just only contain the time and date of creation, right? So in these two examples I see that the amount of information that can be fit into one frame is varying, right? एक में क्या है कि कई सारे एट्रीब्यूट्स है और एक एप्लीकेशन में केवल एक ही एट्रीब्यूट है, right? So in that case this metadata can span into multiple frames, or it can be best fit in a single frame. So that way I am saying that application to application the amount of information to be communicated can vary, right? So इसको अगर हम संक्षेप में देखें तो मतलब ये है कि हमारे पास कितना डेटा है, ठीक है, और उस एप्लीकेशन का रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, कि एक एप्लीकेशन केवल एक सिंपल लोकेशन इंफॉर्मेशन से ही काम चल सकता है, और दूसरा एप्लीकेशन को मोर देन दिस इंफॉर्मेशन कैन बी रिक्वायर्ड, ठीक है? तो इस हिसाब से देखें तो फ्रेम साइज फर्स्ट एप्लीकेशन केस में छोटा होगा और दूसरे एप्लीकेशन के केस में बड़ा होगा। अब क्लियर हुआ? मैं इसको एक और स्टेप बताना चाहता हूं कि व्हेन वी से फ्रेम, ठीक है, सो फ्रेम इज नथिंग बट essentially it consists of bits of information, right? Bits of information. अगर मेरे पास, और हमें पता है कि रेडियो सर्किटरी को कोई भी डेटा एनर्जी कंजम्पशन विल डिपेंड ऑन द नंबर ऑफ बिट्स ट्रांसमिटेड और रिसीव्ड, right? So if there are smaller number of bits constituting a frame, then the energy expense by the node per transmitting or receiving will be obviously less, and more otherwise. That is how keeping the frame size specific to application level requirement do help us in spending energy carefully, and thus by allowing the network to survive for a longer time. Is this more clear? Okay.
Yes.
And next is resource blindness. Another terminology, resource blindness. So this says that there can be two conditions in which communication can happen. One is the resource awareness. I mean, the protocol is resource aware, which means that it also takes into consideration the remaining energy of the node. Right? If a node begins a process and there are n number of steps involved to complete that process, resource awareness means that the protocol will ensure that the node has adequate energy to complete the entire process. I mean, all the steps involved in that process. Right? This is also an attempt to enhance the reliability of the mechanism. It should not happen that if a process involves 5 steps and it begins processing, and after 3 steps it collapses due to non-availability of energy. So what does it mean? It is unreliable system. So before a node takes up a process, maybe for communication, maybe for broadcasting the data, or maybe for any other purpose, the protocol must be resource aware. Is it clear, students?
Yes, sir.
So SPIN protocol is resource aware, or you can say SPIN protocol is resource blindness compliant, thus it is reliable. Fine. So keeping these 4 understanding of these 4 terminologies, we will begin discussing SPIN protocol. Fine. So the salient features of SPIN protocol are: nodes advertise metadata. Nodes advertise metadata information whenever a new data is available. Okay. And interested nodes send request messages to the advertiser. to the advertiser, right? So it can be seen as that if node A has, let's suppose BCD are the neighbors, BCD are the neighbors. Whenever a new data point arrives or it senses a new data point, then it advertises the metadata. Let's suppose this is temperature. It is A sensing temperature of a particular location. Let's say it is 75 degrees centigrade. Okay, so at T1, temperature at T1 is 75 degrees centigrade, and at T2, let's suppose it recorded 80 degrees centigrade. So what will be the metadata that it would be advertising is the T2, right? So T2. So metadata advertised here is T2, the timestamp. For example, okay, it can be location, it can be the file size, it can be data quality. 75 can refer to good, and 80 degree can refer to worse, like that. So in that case, worse will be transmitted. Okay. Any questions, students? So A broadcasts or A advertises the metadata information whenever a new data is available. And suppose node E is interested in getting the data, then node E will send a request message. So request message, and A will supply the data. Correct? So that's it about the fundamental spin protocol. Right? So what we see here is that third one, the advertiser replies with data to the requesting node. That's it. So in a way, it has three messages and to complete the process, right? So message 1 is that advertisement ADV, and message 2 is the request, and message 3 is the data. That's it. So advertisement message is from request, what you say that a node having a new data, okay, advertiser to all the neighbors, and request is from the node that is interested in getting that new data, and data is finally transmitting the intended data, right? So it's fairly simple. So ADV request and data are said to be the what? The spin messages are the spin messages, right? So here we have 4 variants of spin messages, spin protocols, 4 flavors of spin protocol addressing different aspects of the fundamental issues we discussed, like implosion, overlap, resource blindness, and so on and so forth. Now, in every variant of spin protocol, you should be simultaneously trying to understand how that version of spin protocol is able to address which or what different problems that we discussed earlier, right? So we begin with spin PP. Okay, spin PP, which means the PP stands for point to point, spin protocol for point to point. So it's fairly simple that the interested node requests the data and performs some processing with the old data. What it is, the requesting. So this is obviously post advertisement, okay, needless mentioning. So the interested node requests the data requests the data and performs some kind of processing with the old data. Some processing with the old data and new data. What I mean that so it takes the old, it has its old data, and it gets the new data from the advertiser, and both are processed together. Okay. Before re-advertising, the aggregated metadata to its neighbors, right? Now, students, I will put a question here that which problem Spin PP has been able to address and why or how? Yes, the interested node requests the data and performs some processing with the old data and new data together before re-advertising the aggregated metadata to its neighbors. So the answer is given already. So you need to comprehend this and answer my question. How Spin PP protocol is able to address one of the problems, and you need to identify which problem specifically I am referring to and how it is able to mitigate that. Archana? Okay, tell me, intuitively, is it able to do, is it able to address any of the problem? Just say intuitively, don't get into it. What's your intellectual guess? Or I will little relax it, blindfoldedly say. Just hammer. Blindfoldedly say that, whether it is able to or not. Yes or no. Answer should be in yes or no. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Just little ponder over your answer, that why it could be yes. Yeah, yes is the right answer, but how? Okay, okay. Of course. Very good. Who is it? Who is it? Who spoke it? Nidhi. Good Nidhi. Good. Your understanding is good. Okay. I ask others to catch up. Okay. So you see, the sentence has a portion saying that before re-advertising the aggregated metadata, which means instead of aggressively just advertising, re-advertising, it takes a decision whether to re-advertise or not, because re-advertising means it is consuming its own energy. Also, it is forcing other neighboring nodes to consume their energy, spend their energy. So a decision is taken before re-advertising the aggregated metadata. In what sense? That suppose I'll take an example. Let's suppose I say that 75 degree to 80 degrees is fine. This range is fine. Now I receive a data, new metadata. Old data is, let's suppose old data is 75 degrees, okay, and new data is let's suppose 78 degrees centigrades, right? Now I will put a condition that if there is a variation of plus or minus 5 degrees, if there is a variation of plus or minus 5 degrees, I will not re-advertise. Suppose that's the condition put. So old data is 75 and new data is 80. So new threshold is 80. So plus 5 is 80 degrees centigrade. What is the new data it has received? 78. So 78 is less than 80. So re-advertisement is not required. So I've taken a simple example to explain you the situation. There can be very complex decision process as well. Fine. So since the temperature, although it has increased from 75 degrees centigrade, but it has not crossed the set threshold of 80 degrees centigrade, so it decided not to re-advertise. Correct, students? One more thing, that it is meant for point to point. So you know that point to point, point to multi-point, all these mechanisms. Students, your silence is
Yes, sir.
worrying me. Are you aware of point to point, point to multi-point protocol? These are very fundamental protocols which you must have studied in the third semester of your graduation program, the second year in computer networks. So I won't repeat that. Okay, if you are not able to recall, please go through them. Right? Okay. Then another
Sir?
flavor. Yes, please.
Sir, what is the condition that we have to re-advertise the aggregated metadata?
There can be any condition. The condition can be anything.
To your example, that 78 is less than 80 degree. So,
Okay.
sir, what if the old data is new data is greater than the old data, then we have to re-advertise.
Not necessary. I said that the difference between new data and old data is 5 degrees centigrade. Then only re-advertise. This is the condition I coined now.
Okay,
In
sir.
this example, the re-advertisement condition, prior condition is that the difference should be more than 5 degrees, either on the downside or the upside. So even if it goes to 70 degrees centigrade, re-advertisement is necessary, and if it goes to 80 degree, re-advertisement is necessary. So this is the tolerance I have put on this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I mean you can have any other condition to decide whether the data need to be re-advertised or not. Right? So the other one is spin EC, other variant EC. EC stands for energy conserving. Okay, energy conserving. So here a node first consults the resource manager. As we said that it is resource aware mechanism. Spin is a resource aware mechanism, and this resource aware functionality is implemented in the resource manager. Okay, resource awareness functionality is implemented in the resource manager. So resource manager is a module which keeps track of the remaining energy of the sensor node. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So a node first consults. So a node first consults the resource manager before beginning the process. What is this process I'm referring to? Students, what is this process I'm referring to?
Advertisement.
Wonderful. Okay. So a node first consults the resource manager before beginning the process, right? If it has enough energy to complete the entire process, as I took the same example earlier as well, if it has enough energy to complete the entire process, the spin protocol begins, else it is aborted. Fine. So as I said that if the entire process, communication process involves 5 steps and it can only complete 3 of these 5 steps, then it will not begin the process at all. Right? So spin energy conserving protocol works this way. Any questions in this?
Sir, is the same applicable to requesting for data?
Yes, correct. Correct. How it is correct? How will you agree with my answer?
Sir, if
How will
the
you?
node,
Yes.
the
How
node
will you
doesn't
say
have,
that my answer is correct?
sir, if the node doesn't have the energy to request for uh, the data after receiving the metadata.
Okay. Okay. So receiving is a process which includes sending a request message and receiving the data, right? It involves 2 steps. Suppose after sending the request to send the data, it could not sustain till the receiving of the data. Will it complete the process? No. So resource manager will say that whether a node is in a position to complete the process once it begins. And the process is nothing but a set of steps that are mandatory to complete the process. Am I clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why the voice is very feeble? Are you able to get or not?
Yes, sir.
Fine. That's good. So another variant of spin is spin BC. BC for broadcast. Okay. So here a node broadcasts the advertisement to everyone in its range, but spin broadcasts data message only once. Right? So this protocol, what is a broadcast data only once. See, the thrust of the definition lies here, only once. How do you visualize this? It broadcasts data only once. How do you visualize it and how it helps in conserving energy? How it helps in conserving energy? Yes. See, in advertisement packet, what a node sends? It sends metadata, right? Advertisement packet consists of the metadata. Fine. So when the neighbors receive this advertisement packet, right, they will see whether they already possess the data or not. They will read the metadata and they will examine that whether they already possess the data. If they possess the data, if they already have the data, then they will just ignore, because there is no need to request. Fine. But if they don't possess the data, then what happens, that the node sets a timer, and after waiting for that timer expiry, the node sends the request message to the original advertiser. समझ पाए अच्छे बच्चों, समझ पाए?
Yes, sir.
So here what you are doing is this spin BC. Yes, student, I will get back to you. Just let me finish this. Spin BC tries to filter out the request messages where the node already possesses the data, and this filtering of request messages and the subsequent data transmission helps in conserving the energy. Is this clear?
So can you please repeat the point?
See, the node sends a request message after receiving advertisement message. The receiver sends request message only if it found that the metadata consisted of some new information. Otherwise, it will not send request message. So what happens, by reading the metadata, it has filtered. It did not attempt to send request message, and so obviously its subsequent data message also from sender. So the filtering of request and data messages from the neighbor helps in conserving the energy.
Okay, sir.
मतलब कि एडवर्टाइजमेंट पैकेट आया और मुझे अगर डेटा का जरूरत नहीं है तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट मैसेज क्यों भेजूं, और जब मैं रिक्वेस्ट मैसेज भेजूंगा ही नहीं तो डेटा आएगा ही नहीं मेरे पास। तो ये जो मैं नहीं भेजा और जो मेरे पास नहीं आया, इन दोनों के चलते जो मेरा रेडियो रिसोर्सेज कंज्यूम होता वो अभी नहीं हो रहा है, और यही कारण है कि ये मेरा एनर्जी को सेव कर रहा है। क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो लास्ट वाला हो गया बच्चों। 5 मिनट टाइम है आप लोगों के पास? नेक्स्ट क्लास है आपका?
Sir, 11 से next class है.
ठीक है, मैं बस क्विकली वाइंड अप कर लूंगा। सो स्पिन RL स्टैंड्स फॉर रिलायबल ट्रांसमिशन। ठीक है, रिलायबल ट्रांसमिशन। तो रिलायबिलिटी क्यों होता है? लॉसी लिंक्स होते हैं हमारे। ठीक है, लॉसी लिंक्स होते हैं। सो वायरलेस एक लॉसी लिंक है। तो टू हैंडल द लॉसी लिंक्स इन द वायरलेस सेंसर नेटवर्क, द स्पिन रिलायबल प्रोटोकॉल मेक्स 2 एडजस्टमेंट्स ऑन स्पिन BC। ठीक है, फर्स्ट क्या होता है कि नोड्स एम्प्लॉइंग द स्पिन RL प्रोटोकॉल कीप ट्रैक ऑफ ऑल एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स दैट दे हैव रिसीव्ड। एक चीज ध्यान में रखो कि आपका व्हाट्सएप मैसेज में जैसे पुराना मैसेज सारे स्टोर करके रखते हो, फिर से उसको रिविजिट करने के लिए जरूरत पड़ने पर, उसी तरह हर नोड जितने सारे एडवर्टाइजमेंट मैसेजेस आए हैं पिछले का वो सारा स्टोर करके रखते हैं। ठीक है, तो अगर एक नोड डेटा एक पर्टिकुलर पीरियड के अंदर रिसीव नहीं किया, ठीक है, तब क्या करेगा कि वो ट्रैक करेगा सारे पुराने एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स को। ठीक है, और एडवर्टाइजमेंट अगर रिसीव किया हुआ है तो उसी एडवर्टाइजमेंट को रिफर करते हुए, ठीक है, किसी भी एक एडवर्टाइजर को रैंडमली सिलेक्ट करके उनको रिक्वेस्ट भेज देगा डेटा करने के लिए। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ब्रॉडकास्ट का जरूरत नहीं पड़ा। ब्रॉडकास्ट को भी हमने फिर से फाइन ट्यून कर लिया कि रैंडमली किसी एक को मैं भेज दूं। तो अगर n नेबर्स को ब्रॉडकास्ट करना था तो मैं भी कितनों को ब्रॉडकास्ट कर रहा हूँ, केवल एक को ही भेज रहा हूँ, नॉट ब्रॉडकास्ट, आई एम सेंडिंग द रिक्वेस्ट ओनली टू 1 आउट ऑफ n। सो मेरा जो n-1 नंबर ऑफ नोड्स जो रिसीव करते, प्रोसेस करते, वो एनर्जी मेरा बच गया। Yet I am able to have the reliability built into it, क्योंकि the functionality allows me to keep track of all the past advertisements। ठीक है, और कोई क्वेश्चंस? तो मोटा मोटी तौर पे स्पिन प्रोटोकॉल ये हो गया, और डायरेक्टेड डिफ्यूजन थोड़ा सा देख लेंगे अगले क्लास में, या दूसरा कुछ देखेंगे, राइट? सो इस सैटरडे को हम लोग क्विज रखेंगे, राइट?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है। सो आई थिंक who are all absent? I can see Archana, 15 brilliant। ठीक है, फाइन, थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Yes, welcome.